Good afternoon, beautiful viewers. It's an amazing afternoon here in Abuja, and we're here to witness the town meeting condoled by National Council for Women's Society of Nigeria, themed Women Together, setting the agenda and changing the narrative. Beloved, if you're not here, you're truly missing out. It's really a beautiful moment having to spend time with intelligent and potential women. So come with me as we speak to important and well-fueled, ideaed women inside. Let's go.
And obtained her first school leaving certificate in 1977. She had her secondary school education at Government Secondary School Home, where she obtained her WASP with enviable scores in 1981. Her zeal and quest for further education made her to proceed to the College of Preliminary Studies, Yola, from where she proceeded to the University of Maiduguri, where she first acquired a diploma in language education, then a Bachelor of Arts degree in linguistics in the year 2000. Please, a round of applause. Acquiring a degree at all costs as a married woman with children, I don't think it's easy. It's worth celebrating. Her love for education for the girl child formed her choice of career as she became an educationist, having risen from being a classroom teacher to becoming director of education with the Taraba State government and retired as zonal director. Hajia Lamila also served meritoriously as vice principal, later board member, Taraba State Primary Education Board and Taraba State Universal Basic Education Board at various times. Away from her education and career, Antila Amin, as she is fondly called, is an advocate, a humanitarian, and champion for the rights of women and the voiceless. Her sojourn into the NCWS from as far back as 1991 saw her holding several positions. She came in as an affiliate from the Girls Guide, then State Secretary, State Treasurer, Second National PRO, Third National Vice President, Second National Vice President, First National Vice President, and now National President. She has paid her dues. She is happily married to Alhaji Adamulao, and the union is blessed with 2 children and and 2 grandchildren. You will agree with me that her wealth of experience in NCWS is a plus for her as she takes on the onerous task of leading a foremost flagship women organization that serves as the umbrella for all women groups in Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 15th National President of NCWS Nigeria, Dera.
Excellency, the wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by Her Excellency Hajia Mero Almakura, SSA, to Her Excellency our Director, Women Development Center, DG, Women Development Center, my old sister, Asabe Bilita, our dear sister, Mrs. Osagi Ajibo, Country Director, Amnesty International, Your Excellency, our dear mother, supporter, always by the National Council of Women Society, the former First Lady of Imo State, our dear mother, Mrs. Rocha Sokracha, my own brother, father, supporter of National Council of Women Society. You've been with us since we're very young in the council, and up to today, you are with us for your love of women and children, Dr. Odi. My national executive here present, our affiliates, ladies and gentlemen, all over the world, there has been a various campaign, an intervention institute by government and non-governmental organizations to fight gender inequality. This is a recognition of undeniable fact that women, just like men, have a critical role to play in sustainable development. Having more women in politics and governance is a critical step towards attaining a sustainable development goals. Despite the recent gains in building conscience towards gender inequality, in recognition that women's rights are human rights, on Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Nigeria and indeed the whole world got a shocking news from the Nigerian parliament with broad total rejection of the 5 gender bills that were tabled for consideration as part of the ongoing effort to amend the 1999 Nigerian Constitution. This move by our elected representatives in the National Assembly only confirms the age-long marginalization of women, as we seem to be constantly reminded at every turn that we live in a man's world. At a time when issues of gender equality and development is gaining momentum in Africa and across the world, the Nigerian Federal Parliament has accurately spoken aloud and clear that they do not want progress for Nigeria. Confronted with these realities, Nigerian women came together to speak with one voice and fight the apparent attempt by our men occupants of the Ninth Assembly to reinforce the system discrimination and political bias against women. Yet, the women of Nigeria made a clear statement that enough is enough. I must make a pause at this time to salute the Nigerian judiciary for taking bold steps to address the structural systematic bias against women by the landmark judgment of Thursday, April 6, 2022, granting Nigerian women 35% affirmative action on all appointments by government. This is victory for Nigeria, as it is against natural order to continue to select half of your population. That's the women. I am therefore calling on this present administration and subsequent administration to respect this court order and ensure we have a balanced system of governance, which is a critical requirement for national development. Let me also make this call to the great women of Nigeria not to rest on our own, even as we celebrate this victory. We will not relent in our demands until all issues in the 5 rejected bills are addressed as part of concerned effort in the ongoing constitutional review. For the purpose of refreshing our memories, the infamous action by our men of the Ninth Assembly include denying citizenship to a foreign-born husband of a Nigerian woman, when it's allowed Nigerian men's foreign-born wives to be awarded automatic citizenship. Denied Nigerian woman indigenship through marriage. Denied specific seats for women in National Assembly. Denied women affirmative action in party administration and leadership. Denied affirmative action appointed position for women, which we have now won in the court. I also want to As an umbrella organization, I want to celebrate these women. So, a few days ago, we were saddened by the passing of a seasoned gospel singer, Mrs. Osinachi Nwachukwu. However, recent testimonies by close friends and associates indicate that her death may not be unconnected to abuse and violence meted on her by her husband, Mr. Peter Nwachukwu. We are therefore assuring all Nigerians that as a council, we will not relate to the rule of all that lead to these circumstances, removed or immediate, that lead to her death, and the culprit must be brought to book. We will not rest until justice is meted to all those who found guilty. This date has also opened up a lot of conversation about the extent of domestic violence many women are silently enduring in their homes. The new leadership of NCWS is therefore working on establishing a counseling desk at the Secretariat of NCWS with seasoned counselors to provide partnership with well-intended institutions who would want to be part of this process. The theme of this town hall meeting, which is Women Together, setting the agenda and changing the narrative, was carefully selected by the National Council of Women Societies to offer a platform for Nigerian women to band together. The town hall meeting will provide a platform for Nigerian women to come together and further involve strategies for the advancement of women in Nigeria. It will also provide the new leadership the opportunity to meet with various women organizations, groups, and affiliates to share ideas on gender issues and development and workable solutions to promote the rights of women in Nigeria. I would like to end this mark by expressing my expectations for this town hall meeting, which is the development of a practical roadmap for improved law and policy environment for gender development in Nigeria. Long life National Council of Women Societies Nigeria. Long life Nigerian women. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I remain yours, Haji Adami Adamulao, National President of National Council for Women Societies.
Great Nigerian women. Great. Thank you very much. First, I'd like to apologize that I can't stay through. Before this came on, I had already a program, an international program that I have to attend to on behalf of Nigerian women. But seriously, I will just lend my voice to the fact that it's a new dawn and new things will happen. I'm particularly impressed that our women arrived on time today, most especially that this is Ramadan and we are serving God and serving humanity. I'd also like to recognize the fact that my sister, whom I'm very proud of, is here representing the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Mayrun Al-Makura. Thank you very much, and give our kind regards to Her Excellency. Nigerian women, I'm going to speak about a couple of things and I'll leave. The President said that we suffered the loss of the National Assembly. 5 bills pertaining to women. They threw it. It didn't matter to them. It did not matter to them. But who are the them? These them are our husbands, our sons, our uncles. So are they bigger than us or bigger than the country? We have not been serious enough. The time is a new dawn. The dancing must stop. We must say boldly and march boldly like we did to the National Assembly that we will not vote for any man who was part of the people that threw that bill away. And they treated us with such levity. Any border town or country that is ready to receive more than 200 million Nigerian women, we do not want war. We want peace, but peace that will be inclusive. I wish you wonderful celebration. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Our own leader, Her Excellency, Mrs. Nkechi Okorocha, whom we are all pleased with, a beautiful woman inside out. I just came back from Maiduguri yesterday. I saw Oga's big billboard in Maiduguri. And I came here this morning, I saw you, I said, oh, nothing else is the selling point. You are in the right place, man. A tweet for you. Our son, our husband, our leader, Dr. Ejike, Oji, SSA to the Honorable Minister of the City. We are so proud to have you here, my brother. Our three-month speaker, Mrs. Osai Ojibo, my neighbor in the city arrangement. Thank you very much. Good to see you. President of Women Groups here present. The brand new executive members of the National Council for Women Societies. Our candidates this morning, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, every led by my own sister, Madam Evelyn Oyilo, a veteran journalist, former President Nawaj. Let me connect the President of Nawaj. I just saw her. You are welcome, and you are welcome. So sorry. Gentlemen of the press, please forgive me if I have skipped you. You know, protocol matters. It's only left to journalists. I don't need to stand on the existing protocol. I'm so pleased and delighted to present this good message at this auspicious occasion of the town hall meeting on women working together to set the agenda and change the narrative. Let me start by congratulating the brand new leadership of the National Council for Women Development, every led by our sister, Haja Lami Adamudao, and her team for this great initiative from the inception of your administration. You have started well, my sister. I want to urge you all to ensure that no woman is left behind in your strategies to achieve the set objectives of the Council and the Nigerian gender agenda. This town hall meeting could not have come at a better time than now, in view of the 5 gender bills that were rejected by our children, by our husbands, by our leaders recently in the National Assembly. And ongoing political process in readiness for 2023 elections
institutions, and the recent judgment delivered in favor of the Nigerian women and the Federal High Court in Abuja on the litigation process on 35% affirmative action in line with the National Gender Policy before Justice Donatus Okoro. There is need for Nigerian women to galvanize action and push for the implementation of the recent judgment of the Federal High Court by the state actors. No stone should be left unturned for the actualization of the national gender agenda by all stakeholders. Nigerian women's voices should be heard and seen as contributors to national development. It is in this regard that I call on everyone present here today to ensure you effectively participate and develop a strategic roadmap going forward for the realization of the national gender agenda and sustainable national development. On the part of the National Center for Women Development, we will continue to drive the process of economically empowering our women to enhance their voices and also champion researches that will provide evidence and planning and offer solutions to burning gender issues by the grace of God. Once again, my dear sisters, I wish to congratulate all of you for this wonderful election, and I wish to also thank the organizers of this town hall meeting, and wish all of us here a successful celebration and safe journey back to our destinations. Thank you very much.
Development Research and Project Center. And I'm here today to deliver a goodwill message on behalf of our Executive Director, Dr. Judith Ann Walker. All protocols duly observed. Thank you so much for the kind invitation, and I am delighted to deliver this goodwill message at this town hall meeting on Women Together, setting the agenda, and changing the narrative. I would like to take this opportunity to commend the National Council for Women's Society Nigeria for this initiative to provide a platform for Nigerian women to band together, have shared understanding of the gender, and develop workable solutions. This aligns with the core objective of our powered project at DRPC. DRPC is a registered intermediary non-profit organization with an established mission of strengthening the capacity of CSOs to design and implement transformative and sustainable development interventions which engages government and addresses the felt needs of the most vulnerable, especially the women and girls. With funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we are implementing the new Partnership for Advancing Women in Economic Development, which seeks to build a CSO advocacy and communication coalition that empower voices in order to advance evidence, policies, and programs that promote women's economic empowerment in Nigeria. We know that Nigerian women face several challenges in their day-to-day activities. 23% of women are engaged in the formal sector, while the majority, about 77% of the women, tend to work in the informal sector. This necessitates the need to advocate for more comprehensive and women-specific policies and programs that addresses the challenges that women face. This town hall meeting provides a unique opportunity for Nigerian women to come together in a systematically identify the issues they face, as well as chart the course of actionable steps to take to address these issues. Indeed, Nigerian women must band together to mobilize stakeholders across the 774 local governments to raise awareness about the importance of women economic development in program implementation at all levels, both the national and state levels. I am therefore looking forward to the robust discussions and recommendations that will result from this town hall meeting. Let me end in the word of the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Dr. Mrs. Zainab Ahmed. She said the economic and social vision of a prosperous, empowerment of women and girls is critical to our collective vision of a prosperous and resilient Nigeria. And if Nigeria must have a stronger and more inclusive economy, it is crucial that we take a long-term and strategic approach to ensuring that women are economically empowered.
The National President, National Council of Women's Society, DG, NCWS, the representative of the First Lady, Federal Government of Nigeria, Dr. Mego Amakura, former First Lady, Imo State, Mrs. Nkechi Rogers Okorocha, Dr. Chief Orji, SSA to the Honorable Minister FCT, distinguished women here present, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here representing the country Vice President, CEP, FIDA, Nigeria, who is unavoidably absent from this very important meeting due to other competing national assignments. She's asked me to deliver a goodwill message on her behalf. My name is Nachamada Shelter, National Assistant Publicity Secretary, FIDA, Nigeria. I bring warm greetings from FIDA, Nigeria, which is the International Federation of Women Lawyers. It is such a delight to be at such an auspicious gathering such as this, a time when Nigerian women, under the auspices of the National Council of Women's Societies, have gathered to chart the course and the way forward under the theme Women Together, setting the agenda, changing the narrative. I must commend the leadership of the National Council of Women's Society, ably led by Hajia Lami Adamun Lau, for coming up with this town hall meeting, particularly at a time when women's role in the country's decision-making process is critical. Women need a seat at the table. They need an invitation to be seated at that table. And when, in some cases, this is not available, they need to create their own table. We need a global understanding that we cannot implement or affect change effectively without women political participation. We certainly need women to change the dynamics, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, and not overlooked or ignored. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made and should have access to such places. We shouldn't be the exception. And that is why an increase in the role of women in governance is critical and certainly cannot be overemphasized. This is why this town hall meeting, set up under the auspices of the National Council of Women Societies, for Nigerian women to develop workable solutions towards advancing the lot of women in Nigeria, couldn't have come at a better time. I wish us all a very robust engagement and enlightening discourse towards changing the narrative and setting an agenda for gender development in Nigeria. There is no limit to what we as women can achieve. United, determined, stronger, we need to promote and protect the interests of the Nigerian women. So on behalf of all the National Council of Women's Society affiliate organizations, we thank you and God bless the Nigerian women. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Okay, good morning everyone distinguished here. I'm humbly standing on the existing protocol. I'm here to represent our president, the president of the Network of Women with Disabilities, Madam Lois Alta Donkata, who is unavoidably absent. I am the Secretary General of the organization. And my name is Mary Musa. I'm a legal practitioner. I must say initiative, and we congratulate the leadership of the NCWS for instigating this come together, because indeed the time has come for women to come together, leaving no one behind. We have come to a point where inclusivity is not just going to be talk, but deed. And that is what representing a very critical population, the population of women with disabilities. We are very happy, delighted, and exhilarated to be invited at this auspicious event. And we say a very big thank you. We do hope that this will be one step in the right direction for many more opportunities to collaborate so that together we can move women forward in Nigeria. Some of us may be aware that our president, Madam Moisota, has declared to be contesting for a seat, in the Kaduna State House. And this is, she is a woman with a physical disability, and in 2019 she contested at the Buhari Area Council. This is just one of the many other achievements that we have recognized and we have recorded amongst us women with disabilities.
2 minutes?
Yes, so we appreciate every support we can get so that we can be included in policies, included in collaborations, and together we'll build that Nigeria that we want. Thank you so much.
Great women of Nigeria. Excellent, beautiful women of Nigeria. Your Excellency, ma'am, the representative of our First Lady, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, Her Excellency, and all the very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen on the head table, presidents of associations, beautiful, great, intelligent, resilient women of Nigeria. This is our time. This is the time. We must come together. Like the previous speakers have said, we must take action now. This is not the time to sit down and talk the talk, but this is the time to walk the talk. And if you want to walk the talk, you must have what it takes to walk the talk. We all must be economically empowered. We all must look for one thing or the other to do. If you have your money, the financial exclusion, the men I encourage it in Nigeria will not deter us. We must be financially included. Let every woman be a woman. We all know that a woman is multi-talented. A woman is multitasking. A woman, no woman sits down at home without doing anything. Let us go back. Whatever barriers we have to break those barriers. I therefore use this opportunity to congratulate our new president. Congratulations on your election, and I pray that the way you have started, that the Lord God Almighty will lead you and grant you more grace and strength to do even much more. And all the women societies, all the women associations, please let's come together. There are certain things we are doing wrong. One need to belong to NCWS. And if you are an economic association, you should belong to NAWE, the Nigerian Association of Women Entrepreneurs. And if you are on the social side, the same thing. There are other political parties, and I think they also have an umbrella association. When we are together, we are unbreakable. When we are together, we show the Nigerian men. We will show them. We will let them know that without inclusion of women, gender inclusion, our economy cannot move forward. The Nigerian society will remain the way it is. But we are women, we are mothers. We want better nation for our children. We want better nation for our society, our generation to come. Therefore, we are preaching inclusiveness. I'm glad with one of the speakers that quoted them. Yes, that's their PC. And that quoted what the Minister of Finance said. No society, no nation, no no nation prosper, no nation sustain its economy without the inclusion of women. So let's know our rights and let's begin to work through our rights. This is the time for the women to show that we are important. Enough is enough. For too long, men have just seen us as Oshoway group. All we need to do is to come to their gathering and clap our hands. Are we still going to be doing that now? No. Will we sit down? Will we interrogate those that are looking for positions of authority in Nigeria? Will we ask them, what do they have for women in Nigeria? And will we hold them bound to whatever they write? Thank you very much. Women, together, we will get there.
Thank you very much, the First Lady and wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our mother, who today is being ably represented by my own very sister, Her Excellency Ajia Dr. Dera. I want to also appreciate our brand new president, very, very brand new. Listening to your profile and how you have climbed the ladder, I have no doubt that this is the very president of this association that will help us move forward. I want to appreciate you and also appreciate all the other members of these executives. The DG, our own DG of women in this country, I want to appreciate you. Our very sister that is also here. And of course, I want to appreciate my brother. I prefer to call him Auntie Ejike. A man that understands the importance of women. I want to sincerely appreciate you that you are here. And I want to also appreciate all the presidents of various associations that are gathered here. This is what we are talking about. And I'm also particularly excited about the theme of this very, very first program that is being put together by the National Council of Women Society. What a team. Very apt. Together. If women can come together. And I want to believe that this is the very first time that you are having so many associations of women groups coming together under one umbrella to chart a course that will give us the kind of Nigeria that we are believing God for. A very proactive president. While I am congratulating the outgoing National Executive Council members of this wonderful organization, because Nigerians, we must learn to appreciate whoever has been there. And they will also appreciate the one that is coming up. That's the only way we can get it right. They have done their own bit, and I believe that we have somebody that God has brought together. I was so excited when I was hearing how she climbed the ladder. It means that she has what it takes to reposition the position of the Nigerian woman. I want to say I'm excited. I often say that if we must move forward as Nigerian women, we must chant a common song. A common song. Yes, we know the women have our own song, but I'm talking about a song of peace. Wherever you are singing from your bedroom, from Sokoto, from Ebonyi, from Imo, from Adamawa, we sing a song of peace, a song of unity. For that is the only thing that can bind us together as a people. I sat down here and I asked myself, what could be the reason why the Night Assembly, of course knowing that my husband is also a member of the Night Assembly, will reject these 5 bills? Because these members of the Night Assembly, especially our husbands there, they know that for them to have been there, we played a role. The women played a role. So what could be the reason? Could it be lack of understanding, lack of communication? I know something is wrong because I know that our men, our husbands, our brothers, they know that for them to be where they are, we women play a critical role. So it is my prayer that God Almighty will help us as women to go back to the drawing board to understand what could be the problem. Because I know that they know, our husbands, our brothers know that we are not a threat to them, but we are there to complement their efforts. Because if we must get it right, a woman has a critical role to play. Because if a woman is given a chance to play her divine role, then the family will get it right, the nation will get it right, and we will sing that song that the whole world is waiting for us to sing. We have a very proactive president. You have just started, just 10 days. There's no time to wait. And looking at the period we find ourselves, a period that very soon Nigerians will be given an opportunity to elect people for different positions right from the world and probably to the presidency of this country. Like somebody said here, we should not be talking about party. We should not even be talking because, okay, let me speak when I want to speak for my husband or my brother or somebody from my place. But I think the Nigerian women should go back to the drawing board and ask themselves, what kind of a leader are we looking for in 2023? What kind of a leader? The leader that we needed in 2015, in 2003, it is definitely not the kind of leader that we'll be expected to have come 2023. We need to ask ourselves a question. What kind of a leader? A leader that can unify us, a leader that can understand the plight of the common man, a leader that can understand that we should not be a big brother to other African countries, that we should lead by example. A leader that will understand that the woman is key if we must get it right. I want to say to you, my dear sister, the president of ICWIS, I want to ask that Almighty God will give you every divine grace that you need to chart the cause of the Nigerian women, because this is the umbrella organization that is housing all women association. And I know that at the end of the day, we'll have that opportunity to say, to God alone be the glory, because women will take their rightful position. Thank you and God bless you.
National Council of Women's Society and Facebook, former First Lady of Imo, my sister, Mrs. Rochas Mbaracha, our own DG, National Women's Development Center, Dr. Ejike Enkifoshi, thank you for being with us. The keynote speaker, development partners, women affiliates, great Nigerian women, women in uniform, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A lot has been said, and I don't know what to say because everybody has said what is in my mind. It is a new dawn with brand new, committed, dedicated, beautiful women piloting the NCWS. And we as women should take the advantage. They are willing to work for the Nigerian women, so we should give them all the support they need to make a difference in this country. If we come together, we'll be a very concrete and solid house, soundproof, and I mean soundproof. We'll be able to make a difference in this country. We should tell the men that all this while is not that we don't have the numbers. We have the numbers, we have the capacity, and in fact, our capacity is even more than the men. I stand to be corrected. And if we come together, united, we'll be able to make a difference. And please, women, you should stop the pull-down syndrome. That doesn't take us anywhere. If it's a woman, forget about APC, PDP, whatever party. A woman should be our political party. Yeah. Whatever woman comes out, if we are sure she's going to be committed to the women's cause, we should go out and vote for her. Forget about the parties. Women should be, a woman, her party should be the woman. Wherever a woman is, we should be there. Thank you very much.
The town hall meeting is for the new ESCO to meet other NGOs, to collaborate with them, and to also discuss our challenges and see how we can come together to solve our problems, that is the Nigerian women.
Okay, so changing the narrative. What narrative do you want to change?
Yes,
the agenda you want to set?
Yes, we have a lot of challenges that especially with what we have seen on the 1st of May. So we want to change our own strategy, to see how we can mobilize ourselves, how we can go about so that we educate our fellow women to love one another and to see how we can increase the number of women in the houses so that they can represent us and we can reach that number that we don't have to lobby again when we're looking for something. Yes.
What's your take on the death of Minister Christinachi, and what is the council doing about it right now?
You heard me when I mentioned it because it's very important and she's so dear to us. And this is one of the things we've been preaching. This is one of the things we've been crying for, violence against women. And we have seen it practically. And we are now calling on our own security agencies and our leaders to take action. Yes, and we'll follow this case. We will see to the end. We must make sure that justice is prevailed.
So what can you tell other women now going through the same issue? What can you tell them out there?
Well, the issue is it's not every woman that will come out and say this is what my husband is doing. Our culture is to keep the secret. Please let your people know.
Do you have a place in your council to take care of this?
Yes, we have I mentioned it in my own, we have a counseling unit now. You can come, nobody will say your secret outside. Yeah, we are doing it to protect the interests of our women and our sisters. We have a counseling unit now. Yes.
Your name and record.
You say?
Your name or record?
My name? My name is Ajia Lami Adamu.
Madam President, I want to especially appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to be part of history, to moderate this panel. And then for us, the Nigerian women, I'm happy that we're having this kind of a meeting today. And I want to plead with us that we should take this discussion this afternoon very serious, because it's born out of passion of Madam President to have this town hall meeting today. And the reason is she wants the council to go back to its former glory. She wants the council to go back as the real umbrella body of all women organizations as far as Nigeria is concerned. And that new dawn is not just
the Women in Politics Forum, the Center for Democracy, 100 Women Lobby Group, the Vision, and IAGA, FIDA also. And in doing that, we were not representing our organizations. We were representing Nigerian women. So it is a victory for all of us. It's a victory for NCWS. It's a victory for our sisters in the grassroots. It's a victory for all Nigerian women. We were only there as representatives. So I want us to collectively appreciate ourselves and know that without your support, for those of you like my sister Evelyn Onilo, we've never paid her a dime, but she will always publish our news. We've never paid her a dime. This
For those of you that will go down and pray and say, God, please support these women, it's your success. So you can see that we are all involved. So it's our collective success.
Before us this afternoon says using legislative action to promote gender equality in Nigeria. The journey, obstacles, gains, and prospects. Before we go into the discussions, please, I'm going to pass on the microphone and then you introduce yourself. Have a minute. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. They said there is no need. I like this panel. So, going straight into the question. Legislation is a process of enrolling, enacting, or promulgating law by a legislature, parliament, or corresponding governing body. Now, to our panelists, how would you assess the involvement of women so far in the legislation process? NCWS, I want you to answer last. I would like to pass on the microphone to Auntie Ene. Make your comments and then you pass it on. Thank you.
We are so grateful for our sister, the Amnesty International Country Director. She's a delight any day. And I'd like to see how all of us can have her paper. She raised a number of issues there in her paper. She said, why is it that no street has been named after any woman, apart from, or airport, apart from one? So I'd like us to go back to look at all the issues she has raised. One, women have been involved in so many ways. I remember during President Obasanjo, I remember writing through the SG of them, adding to him to say, look, there are things that women are not happy about, and he should send certain executive bill to the National Assembly. He was alarmed, you know, the general that he is. He said, who is this? When he made the investigation, he now wrote, this is just a single woman. So I like us to see the power we have as a collective. And it also recognize the fact that every action that we should be taking is being in arrears. That's why we're supposed to do so much and we couldn't do it. We couldn't do so much. I recall to not talking about my person now. In the opportunity the media gives you speech. I remember writing to President Yaradua about certain things that are not right. And he asked the Minister of Women Affairs then, please can you bring her to the villa? This is just a single person. Not that I had influence in terms of political power. When Marisa Iberi said you are going to go to court, I said, you have our support, you have our prayer. That's whatever she calls me for, I will always attend. I like us to understand that we have the power, the moral power, the mental power, the spiritual power that nobody has. And I like us to also know that all the parliaments in Nigeria, that is the two major ones, the National Assembly and the 36 states. Also the local government area, there is so much we can push. I've had the privilege of going to the parliament in my local government area. They say, come and address us. Though the procedure was not followed, it was a great opportunity that I took and I was able to do. So if you recognize that there's great opportunity, you as a person has, you know that as a collective we can do so much. Let's forget about much differences that we think we have. So many things pursuing us, we are pursuing so many things. But if we deal with the issues pursuing us, we'll be able to stabilize. Because the volume, she talked about vulnerability, the volume of violence we face is huge. What are we doing with the VAP Act? 22 years ago, we were able to push, since 2001, it was women. Go and look at the records. Only a few men were part of it. Women pushed and pushed and pushed. The law is there. Are we testing the law? So I think it's time for us to test the law and raise the bar of accountability. Thank you.
I'm happy that we're having this conversation today. Talking about using legislative action to promote gender equality in Nigeria, journey, obstacles, gains, and prospects. Yeah, we are not lacking legal documents that we help promote the issue of gender in Nigeria. Because Nigeria has been a signatory to many protocols, to many documents that believes in gender equality and an inclusive society. Our pain in Nigeria has always been living up to the expectation and living to the letter and spirit of our documents. We have never been in deficit, but we have always played lip service to development issues, gender equality, inclusive. So, we have all the legal documents. For instance, the issue of 35% affirmative action. During the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, constitutionally that has not been recognized, but we also have the National Gender Policy. Nigeria is a signatory to this affirmative action, but he used his discretion and his belief in an inclusive society and gave Nigerian women a place of pride in the scheme of governance during his time. And today we find ourselves where we are because successive administration that came after him, Goodluck Jonathan's administration was also okay, but where we are today, promises were made, but they are not, we can't see them on the table. It's not because those laws are not there. But however, the need for us to take it further was what led to the enactment of the gender bills that were thrown out. Because the Nigerian Constitution in itself is gender blind. No specific pronouncements concerning women have been made or is captured in the Nigerian Constitution. So it is vague. The gender bill, the expectation is that it's going to be captured in our Constitution, where we'll have the real legal backing to all the instruments that Nigeria are paid as signatures. But I remember when we are marching at the National Assembly, it's good that we have women from different diverse fields of endeavors. Those legal women like her and the FIDA president were there. And then they began to question those instruments that Nigerians signed. And the issue came up that there is a need for women to begin to demand that Nigeria as a nation be sanctioned for not adhering to the letters of the document that they have signed. And then the issue of going to court came. And today, we are all celebrating. The court further made it known to us that indeed, this issue that we are talking about are already in existence. But it's just that power that be, those that are at the head of authority, don't believe that Nigerian women should have a place in the scheme of things. So it is not in deficit at all. But what is the journey so far? It's like we're still crawling. But the good news is that in our time and season, we're beginning to see the result of the concerted efforts that women have made in the past. The VAP Act, about 20-something years ago, but up to now, some states have not domesticated it. At least we have made progress recently. 27 states have already domesticated it. It's the Child's Rights Act. We have a lot of documents that speak to the issue of gender equality in this country. But we are getting there. I am happy that I'm alive to witness what has happened. It is a huge achievement for the Nigerian women. And going forward, the theme of this conversation today address all that we need to do to get to the promised land. Together, we can do it. Setting an
agenda for the tomorrow of the Nigerian woman, and begin to change the narrative by adhering to the agenda that we are about to set today. I think this is what all this conversation is all about. So I think we are on a path to the promised land.
Sister, I just want to talk about, the bills that the National Assembly rejected, the 5 bills. While speaking on that, I also want to congratulate Nigerian women for standing firm and occupying the National Assembly. Even though we didn't feel the impact of NCWS, but we know that starting from this period, we are expecting that NCWS will feature in everything that we need them to be featured. So I'll start from the reserved seats. And I'll tell our story because we didn't just arrive at the reserved seats. Before getting to the point of reserved seats, initially we are talking about creating 35% affirmative action so that for every position, women will occupy 35% of the seats. The parliament didn't want to budge, and because of advocacy and negotiation, they were ready to give women their own seat. And this was what led Right Honorable Kiruko Georgia to come up with the special seat bill. At the committee level, it was passed by the Joint Committee of the National Assembly. The only question they had was, it was actually a suggestion, not a question. If we would, make the positions one for state assembly, one for House of Representatives, and one senatorial seat. So that would have reduced the number from 111. We are open to that negotiation. And on the day of voting, we thought it would have come as a form of amendment. And when people talk about not having enough advocacy, I tell them no. We reached out to all the stakeholders. We reached out to the leaders of the National Assembly. We reached out to individual members of the National Assembly. We reached out to traditional leaders and religious leaders. And the height of the advocacy was the wife of the president, cutting short her visit, her medical visit to come back and then join the team to the National Assembly, and also the wife of the vice president who was sitting with us on the day of voting. So we did all the advocacy necessary. And then apart from the reserved seats, the citizenship. And to me, when I look at the citizenship and I look at indigenship, I begin to wonder, why would any man vote against citizenship and indigenship? What are we talking about? Citizenship, that when a Nigerian woman is married to a foreign spouse, that she will be able to give the man our citizenship, if the man so desire. Nigerian men marry foreign women and they give them Nigerian citizenship. Why would they discriminate against women? And by the way, most of them also travel out and they marry people from US, from Germany, from Britain, and all the top world countries. And they are all having citizenship in those countries. And it was the women actually that gave them the citizenship of their country. So why would they vote against it? We look at indigenship. Indigenship, most times people talk about state, and I say, no, I don't want to talk about state. I want to talk about community. Now, if you are married to a man outside your community, you are losing your position in your father's place. And then you marry a man, you also do not have a place in his community. And we are saying that when a woman is married to a man for one of 5 years, the woman should be able to get the citizenship of her husband. You have seen how it has played out in politics, in the judiciary, in every aspect of life. And we are asking, why is it not possible for us to have an identity? Because I say this because when you are married to somebody outside your community, you lose every identity. So your father's place will tell you, no, go back to that side because we are giving you out to them. Your husband's place will say, no, don't bring that one here. You have to go back to your father's place. So you see women just floating. Then the affirmative action in political parties. Now, political parties are the major instrument for anyone to contest and win an election in Nigeria. And it starts from the executive position. Women are not there. You only find out that what we have is the position of woman leader. And in that position, you are not expected to have a say. You are expected to mobilize women to support men. So we are saying that no, women should be part of the executive of political parties. And surprisingly, the bill failed also. Then the ministerial appointments for women. We talked about having 35% affirmative action. I will tell us a story here. If there's no law guiding it, it becomes, So we wanted to have a law, a constitution that says this is what we need to give to women, so that when there's any violation, we can quickly raise that. Because if you say that, it's the political will of the leader, at times it's also not the political will of the leader. I'll give an example. Before the 2019 elections, we had a summit. The summit was in collaboration with NCWS and with the office of the wife of the president. The president was part of that summit. He made commitments. And the president boldly talked about women, how trustworthy, how qualified, how prudent, everything. He himself mentioned the national gender policy. And the gender policy is about 35% affirmative action. So if they will speak on it and give women credit, you begin to ask yourself, why is it that in this present administration, we do not have 35% of women in ministerial positions? And why is it that we do not have 35% representation in other appointments like the DGs, like every other political appointment? So we needed especially to have a law backing this, and maybe in the constitution. We presented this to the National Assembly. While this was going on, Nigerian women were already in court against the federal government. Against the federal government because after the 2019 election, we realized that 2,970 women contested elections. Yes. Then we had about 91 political parties, and only 67 women got elected from that huge number of women participation. And before this time, we have traveled to other African countries. We were in Senegal, especially to find out how Senegal didn't get affirmative action, they got parity. And we went around, we met with the FIDA in Senegal, the council that is like Women, National Council for Women's Societies. We met different groups, and then even women in parliament. And they told us that they had to go to court to get the legal interpretation of the section of the Constitution that talked about equality. In 2017, when I made a presentation at the African Bar Association in Rivers State, the wife of the governor chaired the session, and she came with a judge, Honorable Justice Elsie Thompson. And I made my presentation, and I insisted that we needed to have more professional women come into politics. and I talked about our issues. And Justice Elsie Thompson said to me, why don't you people, try this out in, using judicial process. Let there be judicial, statements on this. I mean, don't bother about winning or losing. What you will do is take it out there and make a statement. And this is something that you can follow up from the lowest court. For us, because it's a case against the federal government, it was now going to be the Federal High Court to the Supreme Court. So in 2020, the Nigerian Women Trust Fund got permission from their board to activate this process. So other organizations joined. Like I said, Nigerian Women Trust Fund, the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, the Women in Politics Forum, the 100 Women Lobby Group, Ward C, Women Advocacy for Research and Development Documentation, the Women Empowerment and Legal Aid, Vision Spring Initiative, IAGA, FIDA. And we got the support of Falana and Falana. I must say that Nigerian women owe a huge appreciation to Falana and Falana. They did not just represent Nigerian women, they did it pro bono. Yes. For all the stress, for everything, it was pro bono. While appreciating Femi Falana SAN, we have to appreciate his wife. The day we were able to respond and made our presentations in court, she came herself. And after she, laid out all our issues, I was like having a kind of peace, because she delved into different areas, using the Constitution, using the international treaties, and using what other countries were able to do. And when she finished, and I asked myself, where would a judge get his own ideas to rule against this presentation? I also would like to thank Barrister Marshall. Barrister Marshall is from the Falana and Falana Chambers. He lived up to the promises the chambers made to Nigerian women. And on the 6th of this month, we got the Almighty judgment. And asked me as a lawyer, there's a window of appeal, 90 days window. And I said yes. And I said I will be surprised, because it will be irresponsible of any government to go to court to appeal this judgment. I'm saying this with every sense of responsibility, because the judge, Justice Dera did a fantastic job. You need to get a copy of the judgment to understand what I'm talking about. Because he was able to take us back to history, to international treaties, and to the role of the national gender policy. A government that will bring out the gender policy as a guideline of its activities must respect the gender policy. And this is where we're standing today. So for me, we have seen that it is important for us to have a legal document. At this point, as we are celebrating, I want to say that it is not Uhuru yet. Why am I saying this? As Nigerian women, as women-led organizations, we have to be vigilant. In being vigilant, we will have to look at all the areas. We are the ones that will be guiding the government now. Because we will tell them that the ministerial position, that as we have presently constituted, is against the present law today. Because what is the law? That there should be affirmative action. I want NCWs to rise up from this conference and issue a communique. And the communique should state and demand that the Executive Council should be dissolved and a new Executive Council constituted to respect the law of the Because this is what we see as we speak president positions to ensure that the present law as we speak today, because until there is a superior judgment against this judgment, this is what the law is and it must be respected. Thank you.
That's the one I used to know. Is he great Nigerian women? Fantastic. At least I won't say I'm the minority here, I'm the majority here. I mean, the reason why I will start by that intro saying I hope I'm not in the minority. I've listened with keen interest everybody that spoke today and talk about how to go about getting our agenda, getting more women in leadership positions. And I began to fear that I have to find a way and escape from this room. The reason is that everybody will say women have to support women, let's tell women to support women. Nobody is talking about the men that are women-minded. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And as a strategy, I'm not going into the strategy session. What are we trying to do? We want to create spaces for more women in leadership positions, especially political leadership of the country. That's what this is all about. I want to take some of my friends, sisters in this room through memory lane when I was at IPAS. I took up the position of country director of IPAS in 2002. And I had two missions. The organization had their own mission. I told them, I have also my own mission. They said, what was that? I told them, because I said, if it does not match, I will take the job. The two missions was, one, create more spaces for women in every position possible. The second one is to reduce maternal mortality in Nigeria, at least 30% within 5 years. In 2006, I was invited by the Norwegian government to be part of African reproductive health and women's sexual and reproductive health and rights leaders to help them craft the policy they are going to use in work in Africa. But before the International Development Minister had a meeting with concil, I said, look, I want to ask you some questions before you start asking me. And the question I put to him at that time was, how come 55% of leadership positions in Norway are women? In fact, as at that time, the president of Norway was a woman. And I wanted to learn from them. And what I got from that, some of you who are in this room today will bear fact to a few things I'm going to say in terms of strategy. One of the key things I learned from them was collective action. In any legislative thing you're going to do, there must be collective action. It's a philosophical underpinning of for you to get anything from the legislative house. And I'll give you few examples of what you, NCWS, learned. Few, in fact 2, and how we got it. Number 1 is National Health Act. Hello? Hi. Number 1 was what? The National Health Act. If you people remember, some of us pursued that act for 15 years. The reason why I was told by some of my friends that were in the parliament was that there was no money backing the act, passing the act. So we now have to go to the drawing board. If you people remember, NCWS led 5,000 women that marched to the National Assembly during David Mark's reign as the President of the Senate and the young Obasanjo was the Senate President, Senate Chair for Health. What happened? I was in Port Harcourt, and I was every day, night, I said, we have done everything under the earth, we have not been able to do this. And I've said, IBAS had trained women in legislative advocacy. Some of you here, in fact, talking about herself here, we hired 4 women and embedded them in 4 women groups. One was NCWS, one of them is in this room, Nena that is running around. Nena was there. I paid her salary for 8 years. I'm so excited about Ebere because anytime I see Ebere, I see her talk, I feel so proud. The reason also, we hired Ebere and embedded her in Will for 8 years and paid her salary. Same for FIDA, same for Medical Women Association. But the most important thing is not just in bidding, we gave legislative advocacy skills. We gave program management skills. We gave negotiation skills. I went to the UK and hired a young Nigerian woman who was working for the British government. I said to her, contribute something to your country. She came back here, young Miss Kaine. She worked with NCWS and other 6 women groups to develop a leadership cookbook for 6 months. And one of the key things that was there was leadership succession. If you people remember, the day people did the election and Madam President won, I was there dancing. People don't know what I'm dancing about. I was dancing because there's a leadership succession. I'm giving an overview of why occasionally we don't get what we want. The same act for 50 years that wasn't passed. A week to that, I brought 1 million naira and kept on the table. I called Mike Ewu, who was working for Part 2. I called Bright Preman, who was working for Society for Family Health. I said, we need to mobilize 5,000 women for the women groups. That's what they want. But they need money for their transportation. I have 1 million. Can you believe? They brought 4 million, kept it on the table, and gave it to the women group. They mobilized 5,000 women to the National Assembly. If anybody will remember, I was there, I hid. But the women did it. What did they tell me? Yaba Obasanjo and David Mann. If you do not pass this bill by tomorrow, we'll come and open our bosoms for you. They thought they should not, we'll turn the other one and do like this for you. David Mann said, I beg, don't do that. What happened? The next day they passed the National Health Act. The National Health Act is what is informing National Health Insurance Scheme money as we speak. The National Health is informing the Basic Care Provision Fund that is funding healthcare at the primary health care level. The Minister of Health with the Minister of FCT launched the emergency ambulance system last month. It's 5% of that money. You guys did it. What am I talking about? The strategy. The second act, somebody has really mentioned it. The Violence Against People Provision Act, Persons Prohibition Act, is not as easy as it was glossed over. It took 7 years. But it was a coalition of 30 women groups, like that. Nawaj was part of it, NCW was part of it. And if I remember, the strategy session again was women, NCWS was talking for women. Madam, former President Ramatu Bala Usman was there. God will continue to bless that woman. You know, she was there. FIDA was there. FIDA was talking about women's rights. Ramatu Bala Usman was talking about women in general. The medical women were talking about the rights of women, how it affects their health. So collaboratively, everybody knew that David Mark was not women-friendly in the parliament. On that day, he came and decided to be a friend of women because she was overwhelmed. Give a good round of applause for women of men. They passed that act. But in terms of strategy again, that act was actually passed because I was the lone voice that said, women, let's make this act a gender-neutral act. Are you hearing me? If you see violence against women, you're only telling people you're not protecting the men. And some men will say, is it women who will talk every time women. So we made it what? Gender neutral. If you look at it, that act actually speaks to even the violence we're talking about in political circles for women. It speaks to it. The only regret I have, because I was the only person that opposed we should not go and put another agency to attach to it. That NAPTIP already has that provision. NAPTIP didn't come up to do their work, but now they are doing their work. Give them a good round of applause. So it's already covered. But I want to also end here to say, anytime you are going to the parliament, please, those people are politicians. I had to resign my appointment and go into politics. So I'm wearing another cap now as a politician. You understand what I'm saying? When you go to top politics, you don't use emotions, you don't use things that cannot fetch a man or a woman vote at this place. So what this means, the sensitization should actually start and not be in a hurry, because if you do a knee-jerk thing in legislative function, you feel flat on your face. And I'm so delighted. The reason I have another meeting, one campaign, is doing something I have been pushing for almost 10 years, that we should have health ranking across the country so we can name and shame governors who are not doing well. I was supposed to be in that meeting, but I prioritized coming here today because this is my first. And why I'm saying this is that in terms of legislative advocacy, collective action is the key. I'm so delighted that Madam President has started bringing back all the other women affiliates. I see former President of Medical Women Association of Nigeria, Dr. Joyce Baba. I see Nawojia. All right? I see FIDA. We need everybody on the table speaking the same language at any point in time. Finally, I will suggest that when we are going for a legislative action, you don't pack too many things on the table. That's the first rule in legislative purpose. We have 4 bills. And you know what will be in the mind of someone that wants to shoot one down? He will say, even though I like these ones, if I don't shoot all those ones down, this one I don't like and pass. I don't know if people agree, understand what I'm saying. 4 bills at the same time. And I was just having a conversation with my lawyer friend here, and sister, and colleague. The Constitution is the grand norm document in Nigeria. The one that said you should do special seats for men or women. Somebody can go to court using the Constitution. You have discriminated against me because somebody has to stand for an elected position to be able to be elected in the parliament, isn't it? Before you can occupy that seat. So my take, if I was part of it, I would have said, let's go for the low-hanging fruits. Affirmative action is known globally. And that's why you were able to get it through the courts. That's what we call judicial activism. So as we move on, like I said, I'm back to NCWS. Now I'm a life member of NCWS. Where's the president of NCWS, Abuja? Remember that I'm your member. If you call a meeting, you don't call me, you're a call. Thank you very much.
All affiliate groups, all women groups, like what we've seen here today, we had Barrister Dera, he's a women in politics. We have Nawoj, we have Nawe, we have the POA, we have so many women groups today. And if all of us can come together to speak with one voice, I think nobody can stop us. Our theme today is togetherness and nothing else. We have to intensify our bond so that we can move as women of Nigeria to achieve whatever we need to achieve. And we promise you that the mandate that you people gave to us will never be insulted. The NCW's office is open for everybody. We will work together. We will not talk the talk, but we will walk the talk this time. Nobody will be left out. Our president had promised an inclusive government, and that is all what we will see for the next 4 or 5 years to come. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's a beautiful moment to have you here, Ma. So we would want to know you, and we'll start by asking you to tell us who you are.
Okay. My name is Dr. Jennifer Ezebul Hassan. I'm President of Medical Women Association, FCT. I'm here on behalf of the National President, Medical Women Association of Nigeria.
Okay. It's really a great privilege to see you here. So can you tell us, what did you learn today, and what would you be taking home to your association?
Well, we were invited by the National Council of Women's Society, which is meant to be the umbrella body of all female associations in Nigeria. And what I saw today from the team stand together, I can see that the National Council of Women's Society wants to go back to the drawing board of what it used to be. Because right now I'm seeing so many affiliate groups of women's societies and coming under one umbrella, which was the sole aim of National Council of Women's Society in the past. And I can see a fostering and alliance of different female societies in furtherance of the common good of the women of Nigeria.
Thank you very much for giving us this privilege to talk to you. And now you being a representative now to take something home to your people. So you believe that what you've learned today or what you've gathered today will be of help to the people you'll be taking it back to?
Sure. Because right now, like there are female lawyers there, female associations, there are journalists amongst us. I'm a doctor. Like let's give a typical scenario. You have a rape case. You need the lawyers amongst you. You need the doctors. You need the journalists to get the message out. Then, even if you look at the other spheres, the NGOs and co that are also here, different, you need the bankers, you need people that can empower women in the financial sector. So if every sector of womanhood represented here work together, I mean, Nigerian women will prove to be great again.
Thank you very much for this great privilege. Please do have a lovely day. It's a pleasure meeting you. Please, can you tell us what you really spoke about today in today's event?
Yes, this was a town hall meeting put together by the immediately elected president of the NCW just barely 10 days ago. And she called this town hall meeting because of urgent issues that are in the community, or would I say in the environment, about the law that was, the bills that were thrown out in the National Assembly. And then she felt that was a wake-up call for the women to come together and see how they can start looking at legislative actions to be able to get what the women want. So what I spoke to here is that legislative advocacy is not a knee-jerk reaction. You have to be deliberate, and you have to plan, and you have to also mobilize your community to be able to make the political statement to the people who are going to be the consumers of your advocacy asks. And then also to make sure that you do not put things on the table that is against the Constitution, because the grand norm document is the Constitution. So if you, like one of the bills, I keep saying, you can't say that you have special legislative seats only for one gender. Somebody can take the country to court that my right has been abused. You see the point? It's something people will elect you to. But affirmative action, I'm all for it. The president, in his wisdom, will say, these are the people I want to. It is his choice. We have given him that responsibility. It is his choice to choose whoever he or she so wishes to work with. He might decide to be, I only work with women, and it's okay. He won't be abusing anybody's rights. That is his right. So that's why I'm a feminist in men clothing, but I'm also a realist. Civil rights activism is make sure that no us is God. So that's my take. And what I spoke to here is that it's not just enough to be here is also, you can see some women have said, how do we get to the grassroots? That's a very key question. When I played politics, like I said, more than 60-something% of the women, both at the primary level and at the election itself, were women participants. And then so if the women decide that they want to make a change, they have all that it takes. They have the resilience, they have the commitment to be able to do that.
I really smiled when you said you are a feminist in a male's clothing. I smiled and I got this joy in my heart. So, do you believe that today's event will really yield a huge success out there?
Yes, it's a start of the conversation. They said Rome was not built in a day. This is the first trust. You could see also the reactions and questions coming from from the women themselves. You could see they are more worried about how do we heal. There have been some problem. How do we heal? How do we heal? And then also how do we reach out? They are not really focused. If you look at the reaction, they were not really focused on the subject matter. But they are also saying this is what we have in our mind. We want to see how we can recruit more women. And I agree with them. And I have already promised the president, the way I supported NCWS in the past, I'm back.
Standing right here with me is the recently elected vice president, and I'll be handing over the mic for her to tell us who she is in a GV. Please, where can we know you?
Yeah. My name is Mrs. Geraldine Etuk. I am from Akwa Ibom State, and I'm currently the first vice president of National Council of Women Societies, Nigeria.
As a new elected vice president, how do you feel and what do you think you have for the NCW of Nigeria?
As a newly elected first vice president of the council, I feel happy and I'm very thankful to God Almighty who saw me and my colleagues through that tough election. And I appreciate the wife of the president of this country, Mrs. Aisha Buhari. I appreciate also the Minister of Women Affairs. She's a role model. She played the motherly role for the council and made sure that that election came to be. So I register my gratitude to them and also thank the past president of the council, Laraba Shoda, and thank the former presidents of NCWS Nigeria. And I also thank Akwa Ibom State government. I thank my minister of Niger Delta and the wife for being very supportive. And I must say that not myself alone, the president of the council in the person of Aja Lamilao and all her executive, we have a lot in stock for the women of Nigeria. And like what you have seen today is just a beginning. We want all the women to be on the same page. We've started on a very beautiful slate. We want to bring all the women together so that we can speak with one voice. And together, we can do a lot of things. We don't want the women who had registered with us, all the affiliate groups. We have so many big organizations under us. As NCWS is a mother organization of all organizations in Nigeria and recognized globally all over the world. So we want to bring peace to our nation. We want to bring peace, unity, love amongst the women of this country. That is why we have started with this town hall meeting today, to bring all the women together so that we can at least achieve what God Almighty had kept for us to achieve.
Thank you very much, our newly elected vice president. In a very fast mood or in a summary, can you tell us your goodwill messages to all the women watching you out there?
My goodwill message to them is, women, we must still continue in the struggle to get to where we want to get to. We will, as your mothers, as your mother organization, no matter how little that organization is, no matter where you are, no matter where you are in the four corners of Nigeria, we will all get to you because we have our branches all over the country. We will reach you. We will get to the grassroots to make sure all hands are on deck to support our women to be in positions of authority.
Thank you very much for the privilege. Please do have a lovely day. It's been an amazing moment spending time with these beautiful women here today at the National Council for Women Society of Nigeria. And today we've come to the end of today's event, and I want to tell you guys that if you're not here, you truly missed out, and we happen to learn a lot today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for joining us from the beginning to the end of this event. I still remain your favorite host, Okilu Julia Chidera Emelda. So don't touch that dial. Keep following us on all of our social media handle on Dera's TV. Thank you very much.